Please be aware, in this podcast series we talk about all areas of safeguarding, which some people may find upsetting. So please make sure you're okay listening to today's topic. Be mindful of those around you, such as children, that you might not want to listen in. Hi, I'm SSS Safeguarding Director Sam Preston.
And I'm former head teacher and content author Sarah Spinks.
Hello and welcome back to Safeguarding Conversations. Today we're picking up on a topic that we covered earlier this year, Martyn's Law, officially known as the Terrorism Protection of Premises Act 2025. Now, since our last discussion, HM Government has released further clarification on how this law applies to educational settings.
Yeah, and it's a really important update for schools, colleges and universities. So the big headline is that early years, primary, secondary and further education settings will always fall into the standard duty tier, regardless of their capacity. And that gives much needed clarity for the majority of schools.
Yeah, I think, yes, it definitely is much needed because there was a lot of confusion, I think, about that, wasn't there? Higher education institutions and independent training providers, they're treated slightly differently. So they fall into the standard duty tier if they have between 200 and 799 people on site, including staff. But once they reach 800 or more, they move into the enhanced duty category.
And I think that distinction really matters because the responsibilities are different, aren't they, Sam?
Yeah. So let's look at the standard duty first. Schools and colleges in this category need procedures for evacuation, evacuation, lockdown, and communication.
And here's a useful clarification. So under the standard duty, physical security measures like barriers or searches are not required. So schools don't need to worry about introducing airport-style security. It's about having clear, rehearsed procedures.
And for settings that fall into the enhanced duty, mainly larger universities or training providers, there's an additional requirement. They must appoint a designated senior individual or DSI.
And the DSI, they have to be part of senior management and they're responsible for documenting procedures, liaising with the Security Industry Authority, the SIA, and ensuring compliance. Importantly, the DSI isn't personally liable unless an offence happens with their consent. And and it's about whether they were neglectful in that.
Yeah. So the Act received royal assent on the 3rd of April 2025, but there's at least a 24-month implementation period before enforcement begins. So that means education settings have time, at least until spring 2027, to prepare.
And the Home Office, Security Industry Authority and the Department for Education will be publishing statutory guidance during this period. And I think that guidance then hopefully will give schools and colleges sort of more detailed support on how to comply.
So in the meantime, sector bodies are already working with the National Counter-Terrorism Security Office and the Home Office. And we're seeing, lunch and learn webinars, guidance fact sheets and practical resources being made available.
Yeah, and the aim is to make sure education settings understand what good security looks like, while also addressing that sort of sector-specific policy issues. So we can expect further updates as the implementation period continues.
So to sum up, really, most schools will always sit in the standard duty tier. Enhanced duty only applies to larger universities or training providers. A DSI is required for those settings, but for everyone else, the focus is on clear procedures for evacuation, lockdown and communication.
And with enforcement at least 2 years away, I think it's really important that it's now time for schools and colleges to review their emergency plans, train staff, and engage with the resources that are going to be shared. And it's about being prepared, not panicked.
Absolutely. And of course, we've got training on this, emergency response planning. I mean, every school, every educational setting should have their emergency response plan written and shared, and they should, they should be rehearsing it. They should be reviewing it regularly. All staff need to be trained on it. They need to understand, it's not just about understanding and having the protocols in place, which we've also produced protocols to support this. It's about really understanding why this is necessary so that everybody knows exactly what's expected of them and what they're to do. And there is training available on our website.
And I suppose, Sam, also, we will ensure that training is always updated with any new materials that come out or any new guidance that HM government put out.
Absolutely. I mean, as all our resources and all our courses, we update live throughout the year. So as more is known and as more guidance and resources are made available, we'll ensure that we incorporate that within everything that we produce. So that's our update on Martyn's Law. We will, as we've said, we'll keep you posted as further guidance emerges, but I do hope that what things we covered in this podcast provide some clarity. So until next time, we hope to have you join us again. Okay, bye.